welcome to What's Sold video. This is everything that sold for me the first week of August, so August 1st, August 7th, 2024, and this is going to be just my eBay sales, not my live platform sales. Just keep that in mind. And I'm going to scoot over here and we're just going to get started. Of course, Miss Moxie is down here. That way you guys can kind of see her since, you know, she'll be around here showing her butt off to y'all. The first one is actually a viewer sale. Amy, thank you so very much. She bought this lot of Michael Crichton books. I've talked about before how I'll know authors. I will just do little lots of 3. I have 75 cents into these books and she purchased them full price for $11.87. Almost all of my books are free shipping. I still made, you know, $5 off of this, and Amy got 3 great pieces of science fiction literature for a good price, or at least I think a good price, and I really appreciate the fact that these books ended up in another home instead of ending up in the landfill. So Amy, thank you very much. So this is another trilogy, but this is the whole trilogy. I found these also at the bin, so I have 75 cents into these books, sold for $16.08, so saving some books from landfill and making, you know, $9. Happy with that. This is a 1981 copy of East and Eden. Now this is an ABC movie tie-in edition, which is why it's sold separately. A lot of John Steinbeck novels, especially East of Eden, which is one of his most well-known works, I will put into a lot of 3 to sell them for a little bit more, but because this one was the movie tie-in from the 80s, I went ahead and sold it separately and sold for $8.88. You're going to notice the themes, a lot of books here, and it has a lot to do with the fact that at this time I was listing a lot of books because this is when I started doing the demolishing of my death pile. Another set of 3 science fiction books that I had originally offered up on Whatnot. They didn't sell on Whatnot, but even if they don't sell on Whatnot, they will eventually sell on eBay. This is a set of 3 Gregory Benford books, $14.87. Again, got all those at the bins. Another bin find, this is Cartamandu Legacy, The Lighthouse Duet. So this is 2 books in one. It's called an omnibus when there's more than one book in a book. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. Sold for $11.22. This is another viewer sale. Thank you, Janice. Janice bought this potato book from me with the foreword by Truman Capote. I just couldn't leave this behind. It seems super interesting that Truman Capote, who's most well known for writing Summer's Crossing, which is what Breakfast at Tiffany's is based off of, and In Cold Blood, which is a true murder crime book. I haven't read it yet, but Truman Capote is considered a great American writer, and to have a random cookbook about potatoes be one of his writing credits was just odd. And Janice bought this from me, so Janice, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you've been able to make some tasty potato recipes from it. And I appreciate you saving another book and giving it another home. This is a vintage sleeveless shirt. It was a silk blend, Y2K Style & Co. top. I mean, these vintage knitwear pieces, like the vests and like the sweaters, I sell them all the time, which is why you guys see me pick them up so often. Sold for $14.30. This is a vintage Eli Plains shirt, pearl snap, sold for my full asking price of $16.87. I love buying and selling pearl snaps. Of course, Eli Plains is one of them, especially when it's this nice, like, 90s colorway. Los Angeles Dodgers hat. This is one of those hats that I listed as part of my demolishing my death pile, and I used the little ball cap thing that Melissa gave me, so I appreciate it. It did make the hat look a lot nicer. Sold for $9.87 pretty quickly after I listed it, so thank you very much, Melissa, and I'm so glad that I have another tool with which to sell hats with now. Another vintage 90s shirt. This I picked up at that estate sale that kicked me out. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it up above. But I honestly thought this would be one of the first pieces to sell because it has a really cool pattern. It was a loose baggy fit shirt. So technically it was marked as a medium, but like up to an extra large person could fit this because like it was a true 90s baggy shirt. Sold for $14. I paid $2 for this at that estate sale. We got a lot of viewer sales, which I'm very grateful for. This next one is also another viewer sale. Nancy, thank you so much. She also bought a cookbook from me. This is the new James Beard cookbook. It's a first edition from 1981. It sold for $13.38 because I sent out an offer and Nancy very quickly accepted. So Nancy, thank you so much. I'm hoping that James Beard is not leading you astray and that you've been able to cook something delicious from this book. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain how this item came into my possession. So every year my family has a big family reunion out in the mountains, and my great-grandmother's family pastoral farm, where it's like 400 plus acres of cow field. We go there, there's a river, it's great. Well, my cousin Nia brought this to give to my mom because my dad has a whole bunch of Ryobi handheld tools, and she's like, well, I know my dad has a bunch of these tools. She's like, we're not going to use this, so I was just going to give it to you and see if you wanted it. My dad looked at it and was like, I don't want this. And so then my mom gave it to me. So it's technically a thank you to both of them. So Nia has no idea what I do for a living, but thank you. And then Mom, thank you, of course. It sold for $59.87. It's brand new. It only had been opened to see what was inside, but I don't know. It sold like literally as soon as I listed it, so thank you, Nia, thank you, Mommy, I appreciate it. $59.87. This is Lola Montez. This is a hardcover book. It's a first edition Yale University Press. Sold for $14.87. I picked this up actually at that big bulk buyout that I did, not recently, but last year, and so I have 10 cents into this book, so. This is a vintage 80s top. I picked this up at that big vintage bulk buyout I did like a couple years ago. I have 25 cents into this shirt. It sold for my full asking price of $17.87. You can see that Karen is putting in the work here, making it look very cute. 1982 Aerosmith vinyl record. I sold this for my full asking price of $15.87. This came from that big buyout that I did from the Goodwill. Like somebody's vintage 70s and 80s rock collection and heavy metal collection got donated, and I just happened to be right place, right time. I paid $2 for this. It sold for my full asking price of $15.87. This I thought would sell for more. It's a vintage 1996 mug. I haven't shown you guys a mug sale in a while. Don't worry, I still pick them up when I find them. They just, I don't find as many as I used to anymore. This sold for $10 and the buyer paid for shipping, and I paid $2 for this at a thrift store. More books. This is The Little Red Chairs by Edna O'Brien. This sold for my full asking price of $12.87. This came from that big book buyout that I mentioned earlier, so I have 10 cents into this book. And this is Essentials of Classic Italian Cooking by Marcella Hansen. Now, I picked this book up at the church book sale, so I bought this when it was like the fill a bag day, so, you know, I don't know, I have change into this. Sold for my full asking price of $17.87. Another book, this is a Warhammer book, The Blades of Chaos by Gav Thorpe. This is from 2003. A lot of Warhammer books can be valuable, some of them more so than others. This one was one of the lesser valuable ones, but it still sold for $9, and I had 25 cents into this book. Another Y2K piece, this is a DKNY, like green velveteen top. It was really, really pretty. If I thought about keeping it, honestly, because I thought it was really pretty, but I just decided I'm not gonna wear this, honestly. Like, I pretty much recycle the same t-shirts all the time because of my own personal sensory issues, but this sold for $18.30, and I'm glad that even though I didn't decide to keep it, that it's gonna go to a new home who will hopefully love it. Some more books, Streets of Laredo by Larry McCurdy. This is the second book in the Lonesome Dove series. It sold for $9.87. I bought this at the bins, so I paid 50 cents for this book. JMG L'Ecclesio Fever. This was brand new. This is from that big book buyout I had mentioned earlier, so I have 10 cents into this one. Sold for $12.87. This Ann Taylor piece, again, another knit top. This actually was gifted to me by Melissa. Melissa, thank you very much. She is not a fan of wool, even cashmere. She does not like the way it feels, so she just kind of like collects it all and lets me sell it, which is really, really sweet of her. So Melissa, thank you so much. This piece sold for $14.30, so yes, the extra small sizes will sell if you have other qualifying factors here. And then the last thing I have to share with you is another book. This is Blackwood Farm by Anne Rice. Any of these first edition hardcovers in the Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice, I pick them up every single time I find them at the bins or when I'm out and about, because even if they don't sell on Whatnot, they always sell on eBay. Every time I have listed a first edition Anne Rice hardcover book, it has sold within a week of me listing it. I'm also, you know, photographing it, and they can see it's a first edition. This is a well-beloved series. It keeps being remade into modern zeitgeist, either with some kind of media, and I will continue to pick them up because they will probably continue to sell for me. So sold for $10.87 and it's free shipping. But that was everything that sold for me on eBay for that week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, to the 3 lovely ladies that purchased from me, I greatly appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate when you guys buy stuff from me. It's very humbling and it's very sweet of you, and I do hope you guys enjoy the books that you got, and I appreciate you all watching this as well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye! Bye. Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero. Oh, the hero comes, I can hear the drums and a horse is driving.